So coming off best year in IU school history, 28 wins, you were a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, won the Big Ten. How do you top that headed into this season?
Well, we stumbled there at the end, and so I think there's a lot of leftover, just not disappointment, right, would be the right word to how to categorize it. But it also gives you great motivation, right? It's what drives us all every day. As I always remind our players, we had an unbelievable season, and we should remember that. But certainly not being able to finish the job is something that we're all still, like I said, disappointed about, but realize that we have to look forward and we can't look backwards.
A lot of people are not disappointed that Mackenzie Holmes is back for you, including yourself, I'd
Right.
imagine.
Right.
What was behind her decision to come back?
Mac is one of those kids that loves the college experience. She loves Indiana, is all about Indiana. And I think really it was, as much as she loves the institution, I think she loves her teammates even more. And so to come back with Khloe and Sid and Sarah, Yarden and the rest of the group was a pretty important decision, but a decision that we were pretty excited about.
You return a lot of players from that core group last season. What's going to be the biggest obstacle when it comes to trying to repeat what you were able to do last year?
Well, I think we realize we have some big shoes to fill with, out without Grace Berger, but we feel like we brought in some other pieces that can help us. Nobody's going to be able to replace Grace, as we know, but certainly think that Lexi Bargester, has had a great summer for us. We're excited about Jules Lamandola and Lene Beaumont, both freshmen for us. And I think everybody's a year wiser, more experience, and I think we're excited. We know there's going to be many challenges ahead of us. We can't compare ourselves to last year's team. We just have to be who we are. This is a new team with similar goals, but we realize that I think anytime you're able to accomplish the level of success we have, that comes with its own set of different challenges, which everybody is gunning for you and after you. So, but I know we have great leadership with Mac and Sid and Sarah and Khloe, and they'll know how to handle themselves.
One player on your team that you just mentioned, Khloe McNeal, doesn't get a ton of credit or recognition because her game is so quiet. She puts her hard hat on.
Yeah.
What does she do for your team that allows you to have success?
Well, she was the MVP last year because she really held us together when Grace went out, for the 6 games. And so she had to move over to that point guard position, which is not an easy position to play for us because our playbook is quite large, and she has a toughness about her. She's a very quiet kid, but uber competitive, and it says a lot about her family and her support system. That she was brought up in a family that really prides itself in working hard, but also. I think there's a tremendous amount of quiet confidence that she exudes every day. And to have a point guard like that out there that's leading our basketball team is important.
It also helps when a point guard has a really good post player like Mac. We've talked about her decision to come back. But from an X's and O standpoint, why is she so efficient and difficult to defend?
Well, I think people get tired of me talking about her footwork, her quick hips, and her unbelievable hands. But the thing that Mac has continued to do is the work. And she's never taken anything for granted. She always feels like there's another level that she can get to. Again, we start off the year by her being extremely healthy. Yeah. Sometimes I have to protect Mac from Mac. And by that I mean give her less reps in practice because, back-to-back years we've gone down the stretch with her being a little beat up, and that doesn't serve us well. So, we are hopeful that she can stay healthy throughout the season. I have to do a great job of managing her reps, but I think she's excited about what's ahead for this team, and I think she's excited about her last, year as a collegiate player.
How has the Big Ten evolved since you've been in the league?
Everybody's better. really. Everybody is better. There's more talent. Certainly with the COVID year, we're seeing more fifth-year players return, so that means experience. We have tremendous coaches from top to bottom, and so that's the best way I can describe it. It's a league that is super competitive, has a tremendous amount of pride from each institution, but is also just everybody has gotten better.
You also have, a player like Katelan Clark in the league who has done a lot, not just within women's basketball, but globally. What's it like to coach against somebody of her caliber?
Yeah. I mean, it's great that she's in our league. It's great that she represents the Big Ten. All of the attention that she receives is good for our league. She's extremely extraordinary. In terms of her talent level. And you have seen, and again, I haven't been inside of their program, but from an outsider's perspective, I think we've seen Kate grow as a person as well, being the face of the Big Ten. We have a tremendous amount of respect for Iowa and Kate, but also she has a nice surrounding cast around her.
Yeah.
So,
back home again in Indiana.
Yeah.
When you look at IU, the men's program has always been really solid, one of the blue bloods of college basketball. But now the women's program is starting to be spoken in those same types of sentences. How special is it right now to be a part of Indiana basketball?
Yeah, I think one of the things that, I know this, when we arrived 9 years ago, we wanted the tradition not to only be exclusive to men's basketball. That was one of our goals. And, you fast forward now, sitting here going into year 10, I think we've been able to check a lot of boxes, but that's probably, for me, been the biggest one, is that we have people now in the state, but also surrounding states, but also nationally, that now talk about not just Indiana men's basketball, but can also include us in that conversation, which has been very special.
You're an Indiana girl at heart, went to Purdue, you coached at Indiana State, you're at Indiana. What makes you stay in the state?
Well, I think, one, because I grew up, I love it. If there's anything, it's synonymous with basketball, so anytime you introduce yourself, you're from the state of Indiana, immediately people want to go, oh, the basketball state. And so it is that. We sort of eat, drink, sleep it. And so, again, I'm very proud, of being able to, grow up in a state that's so rich and has tradition, around this orange ball. And so, I love it. I love being able to represent the state, but especially in women's basketball. It's a pretty cool job.